to the Crunch Time Kitchen where we're aching for the baking, which means it's all about baking science today. And we're baking bread. Now, Layla, have you done much baking?
Yeah, I've done a little bit.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to put you on flour duty. For baking bread, you want to just use plain flour. So I'm going to get you to weigh in 500 grams. And Jade, you're on weighing duty. So just to 500 grams. And as with all baking, it's very important that you have precise measurements. Looking good.
Just going everywhere.
That looks very precise.
That's okay.
I
This
like
is
that.
okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
And
that.
you don't even need to use the spoon. Just start putting it in from the bag.
Yeah, just do it for a feel.
Just flour power for feel. Absolutely.
Okay,
now,
we're watching
while
those
that's-
numbers. Watching those numbers. It's
while
a
that's
title fight
going-
weigh-in.
It is. And Nick, I'm going to get you on the next job, which is really important, and that is putting the yeast in some warm water. So I'm going to get you to tip that jug. And into that jug, we're going to pop a little bit of warm water from the kettle. It's not boiling hot because we don't want to kill the yeast. And it's also not ice cold because that'll mean that the water will not actually wake the yeast up. You want it to be kind of warm, like a blanket. How's that looking?
It's up to 414.
Almost there. Keep going. And bam, you're on 500.
Oh, we're over by a gram.
That's
Okay, this is going to be disastrous.
Okay.
It's a science. It's a science.
It is. Okay, now,
There we go.
Layla, do you want to pop the salt in as well?
Yeah.
That's for flavour.
Do you wanna
Jade, do you want to do
take
that?
the ropes on that, Jay?
Okay, so I just
Great.
tip it
So
in.
all of that in there.
And the cup as well.
Yeah, just a cup.
Oh, okay, just
Now,
testing.
This is a dry yeast. You can get dry yeast or you can get fresh yeast. The fresh stuff, you go double the ratio. The dry stuff is a lot more concentrated. So now that that yeast is activated, we're going to form a well in the middle of this flour, and we're going to, which means make a hole in the middle of the flour. Jade, do you want to do that for me? Lovely. And into that, we're going to pour that yeasty solution. Get it in there. Jade, you can start bringing it together. Great. Okay. Now, when you're making bread, you can use a food processor, a stand mixer, or your hands in a bowl. It all works because it's about getting those basic principles. There you go. You can bring it closer to yourself. Are you ready to bring it out?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the messiest part, so who wants to get their hands dirty?
Okay.
Okay, lovely. I'm glad that you both volunteered. So let's give it a nice knead. Layla, I'm going to get you onto kneading it in the bowl, and then
this?
when it comes out,
Yeah.
I'm going to get Jade onto kneading it on the bench.
Alice, do
a
we
bit
need
sticky.
more flour on the bench for the
I
kneading?
reckon we'll give a little bit of flour on the bench. Thank you, Nick. That seems like something you'd like to do. Oh, Jade,
Jade.
get on there. That's looking
Probably
fabulous.
a little bit more.
That's good. Now,
That's really good.
I reckon it's about time to bring it out. So, are we ready to bring this dough out?
Yeah.
Bam.
So are we going for the
Just
knead
start
there?
kneading it together. Yeah.
Okay, girls, step back.
Okay, what is
So
he
what
doing?
part of the knee are we using?
We use our hands to knead it together. That's K-N-E-A-D. But I do appreciate your ebullience in this case, Nick. Your enthusiasm for this job.
All right, we'll get kneading using your hands, obviously. I think,
Get
girls.
kneading using your hands. Lovely work. Bring it together. Excellent. Now, my friend Emma that loves baking bread, I'll show you a really good way. You do this for about 5 minutes, and I'll show you a really good way once it slaps together. So bring it together. That feels lovely and warm, doesn't it? So we bring that all together into one bit. In fact, we'll get rid of all this flour because we don't want to dry out the dough. Look at that. See how it's coming together? So the more that you knead it, the nicer and stronger those glutinous bonds. Now, this one I'm going to get you to keep working on, Jade.
Yeah.
Keep kneading that together. I need you to do it. Here's one that's been proving, because once that dough comes together, this one's been resting for about 20 minutes or so because the dough needs a chance to have a little nap after it's had its knead. So Layla, now what we do is we punch it down. That's called punching down, but we do this very gently. We're bringing that alveolation, those little holes, back in place. So do you want to start punching the dough? Just gentle. Yeah, lovely. Bring it back down. Gorgeous work.
Punch down enough?
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so let's have a look. Nick, did you want to put those two bowls together so we can have a look what happens?
Yep.
That is what we're looking for after we've punched it down. And that's what's going to happen once the dough's had a chance to rest. So we can take both of those away now.
I'll take this one.
Just go in there.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you kindly. And bring over this one. Now this is a floured bread pan just there. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this dough out. Let's pretend that that's rested again. Here we go. And we're going to, oh yeah, give it a slap.
Oh, that-
Yeah, give it a good pat. Well done, bread.
At least it's not with the knee.
And this one
Yeah,
would have
that's
rested
right.
for about 20 odd minutes. And now we're going to bring it back into the pan and now pat it down in there, Jade.
Good girl, good girl.
Keep patting it until we've formed the shape inside. And then we're going to rest it again. You can see why this is a process that takes a lot of patience, because the reward is so, so great. Now let's swap. Ready, set, swap. Oh, here we go. This is what happens if you rest your bread dough properly. This one's been proving for about 20 to 30 minutes. And what happens is that the yeast keeps eating the sugar and the protein in the flour, and it keeps on rising. And what that means is that the final result, feel that, feel how squishy that is. And what else does it feel, aside from being squishy? Can you feel that? Does that feel warm to you?
Yeah, it feels like a bit like normal bread.
Yeah, well, so the yeast is actually releasing heat as well. So you want to warm this in, you want to keep it in a nice warm spot. Now, speaking of heat, this is going to go in the oven. Nick,
Thought you'd never ask us.
lovely preheated oven.
Can I have some assistance, please?
And when it is quite ready, you know it's ready because, okay.
Can never be too careful. It is a
Yeah,
science
never
after all,
be
Alice,
too
as you
careful.
know.
Very true. Lovely. Okay, good. In it goes. Into
Stand back, Alice, that's hot.
Okay, standing back. Oh, lovely. And then the way that we know that the bread is ready is that we can take it out of the oven, get it grown up because it'll still be warm, and we tap it on the underside. Give that a tap. Now, how does that sound? Does that sound full or hollow to you?
Full.
Full, quite full, but there's also a hollowness, which means that inside it's no longer wet. Now, let's have a look at the alveolation, which I'm talking about, which are the little holes.
Alice, I know why bakers get up so early now. It's about a 7.5 hour process.
It
isn't
is. It's absolutely, you know, baking a sourdough takes around about 24 hours to be really, really beautiful. Now hold that up for me, Jade. I think your hands are a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Now have a look at those little holes in there. This is what I'm talking about. This is what happens when you rest the dough properly, when you give it a chance to prove, when you put it in the oven at the right temperature. You've got a lovely, feel that crust. Crunchy, gorgeous. If you want the recipe for this gorgeous home-baked bread, head to our website and just grab some lovely fresh butter, pop that on the bread, and you've got yourself an afternoon snack that you can be very satisfied with. Check that out.
It's like a Picasso, isn't it? You
It
know, all
is
the design
a piece
in
of
there.
art.
Bit of art, bit of science, bit of
But you
good
can use
taste.
the knife
Exactly.
on the other side.
Yeah, good too. Oh, fantastic work on the bread. We're going to have a bit of an inspection of these artworks, and we're going to catch you on the other side of this. Oh, going for an eat. Oh.
Crunch time.